My name is Peter Nightingale. It's spelled Nightingale. I teach physics at the University of Rhode Island, and I'm a member of Fossil Free Rhode Island, and we've been fighting this battle for a long time, and I'm not here to tell you about that. What I am here to tell you is that, as you heard, Harrisville and Pasco turned down Invenergy's request for water. Richard Sinapi, whose name came up a couple minutes ago, is the lawyer for the Harrisville Water Board, and he made some vague comments about Invenergy's third option. Nobody quite knows what that third option is. But guess what? You might be it. And it sounds as if indeed you are. Ocean State Power, which is a current power plant in Burrillville, has a 10-mile pipeline that connects it for water, cooling water, to the Blackstone River near Woonsocket. That is something you can read about in a statement by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission that was issued in 1988. Very interesting reading, but I don't have time to go into it. This summer, Ocean State Power has been trucking in water at a rate of more than 10 8,000-gallon tanks per hour. Ocean State Power obviously already is experiencing a form of drought that exceeds the amount of water it can get in times of, well, the end of the summer, when people use electricity and there's no water. The water system in Woonsocket, I read, dates back to the 1870s. Woonsocket has problems with water treatment. Congressman Cicilline has been working on helping the city financially to solve those problems. We all know about that. Now let me change gears. If you go to the EPA, they have a website called Environmental Justice, and they list all sorts of things. They list pollutants, they list what kind of population there is. And I'm going to tell you something that you live in the middle of, so I'm not telling you anything new. But if you really want to have the numbers, this is the site to go to. And let me just be very brief. Woonsocket is at high risk at any index you look at for, just to mention a couple, cancer, lead paint, dirty water discharge. If you look at who lives here, what the makeup of the population is, and again, I know you know, but not everybody knows, and everybody should know. On the environmental justice side, it's very clear that there is a high fraction of minority population in Woonsocket. It's very far above the median. There are a lot of small kids. Guess what? They tend to be rather sensitive for paint. And it does awful in all respects that EPA looks at. And there are no radicals, not in my book. Woonsocket, as we know, was threatened by bankruptcy in 2012. Maybe at this point Woonsocket has a surplus of water because all those big box stores left, business left. I don't know the details, maybe you do. But one thing is clear to me. I'm a physicist. I have some common sense. At least I see it as common sense, but it doesn't seem to be all that common. And if the city sells water to Invenergy, what will happen is the dirty water that is here will be less diluted. It will be more dangerous because you're taking clean water out of the area. I don't think they will be cooling their power plant with water that comes out of the sewers here. But again, I'm not an expert. If you go ahead with selling water to Invenergy, this will hurt the communities in Burrillville. It will hurt communities everywhere along the fracked gas pipeline that runs all the way from Pennsylvania, where the wells are, via New York, past Indian Power, or what is it called, the nuclear power plant at Indian Point, within a couple hundred feet. Boom! It was going to be very interesting. It goes through all the poor neighborhoods that you can think of, but ultimately this stuff ends up in the atmosphere. And it's going to hurt Rhode Island, it's going to hurt the United States, it's going to hurt the whole world. It's already hurting people on the other side of the world, what we're doing here. and that will continue. And your grandkids will ask you, why did you do this? How can you justify this? Well, will the health of the CEOs of Invenergy be suffering? Probably not, as they ride off into the sun with their bonuses. I don't think so. Woonsocket, and I'm repeating this, but it's one sentence, and I think it's worth repeating. Woonsocket would be an easy target for an out-of-state company with enough money to make it an offer that it cannot refuse. If that sounds like the mob, that's intentional.